How you doing, folks? I'm James Gibson. I have Knob Creek Forge. I've been a knife maker since 1980. I'm an ABS journeyman bladesmith, trained under Dr. Jim Bassett. He's my mentor. And had several other classes with knife makers as well, and at the blade school. We're here at what we call bum camp today here on the farm at Randall's Adventure and Training, the Esee Knife Company. I'm also one of their designers. They have four of my designs. I'm here today teaching a bushcraft survival class. Been here since Thursday. Day Sunday. We'll head home here in a little while. Covered a lot of topics while we're here. We're talking about this axe that I designed. Been a lot of comments about it. This axe is coming out sometime in June. They should have some at the blade show. This is the first one I made and prototype, and I've been using it, and I've carved I carved the axe handle out here last fall. I carved a lot of spoons and chopped cooks out and things like that. When I originally designed this axe, I had the handle coming all the way up to here, and it's micarta. And I was talking with Sean at the blade show last year. We was looking at it, and Sean said, "James, I can see that being a warranty problem." I said, "How so, Sean?" He said, "Well, if you do a piece of wood, you're going to catch and break that off." And I said, "You're right." So we backed the handle up to it's about 6 inches in length. I put the grooves in the handle here because I like it first and foremost. And I thought it looked pretty cool when you looked at the profile, but it helps you on the gripping part. Then it's got the foot on the bottom. Some call it a colt's foot, a deer foot, or just a knob, some call it. Then it swells out here, and since that wasn't on there, the micarta didn't go up any further. I wrapped it with cord, which makes it a little more user-friendly because of the square edge, which you can file those off too on the axe. I designed this where it would have what is called perfect rocker on an axe. Perfect rocker means when I set it on a level plane, the center of the blade is touching there and the handle's touching here. And when you use an axe, you don't fatigue as much. About the only axe I know that don't have to be that way is a double bit because it counterbalances with the head. I did what is called a bearded axe style because this here, that way you can choke up on it and you can carve with this thing like a knife and you get close to your work. Further back you are, the more power you have, closer in you got, more control you've got. The head was just a design that I kept looking at, the Viking horse head, and I was looking at their drawings of it and things, and you always see that horse, he's leaning into a load, pulling a big log or pulling a wagon, and his nostrils are flared. And I liked the way that head looked, and that it represents strength. And so when I done this head, I kind of felt like I got that leaning forward into it look on this axe. And that's one of the reasons it's designed this way. A lot of people ask, why is it cut this way or that way? That's just what I wanted. No particular reason. I just wanted to kind of look like this was leaning in, pulling the load. It's a 1/4 inch diameter. You can also just take its flat ways and you can drive the stakes with it. And it's small enough to drop in your backpack. And that's really what I started out as, an axe that I could carry in my backpack, that weigh a lot, and it still do a bigger job than the size it is. It's got a flat grind with a slight convex edge on it, and it comes up about close to an inch, maybe 7/8 to an inch. And as you can see the head in this profile view here, and you can see the edge on it. It's got a little kickback, and that front edge lends itself to getting in there, getting in tight spots. And then some things I can chop with this here on it when I'm doing spoons and things like that for carving. But it's a general all-purpose axe, as far as I'm concerned. That's how I designed it to be just an all-purpose small axe. Sure, it's not going to do what a big axe will, but it do more than a rock would. I'm a flint knapper. I've been making stone tools for years, and they cut great. But you got to know what you're doing to do that. This right here will do a job, and you can actually baton it and do splitting and things like that, and baton it into bigger pieces of wood and things like that. So basically, that's the overall view. This handle is what I call chipped because I am a flint knapper and it has that look. I've heard it called a lot of other things. I've heard it called a Rocky Mountain tread and stuff like that. And I just called it a chipped handle. And it's smoothed up. This does not cause any hot spots, and I've been using it a long time. No hot spots because this is knocked down where it's smooth on the top too. And actually, after I do the initial cutting of that, then I put it on a Scotch-Brite wheel and I smooth it all over real good, and it gives a real good smooth feel. And you can also, you can take if you want more gripping power, you can cut a bicycle inner tube and slide it up on it, and of course that rubber gives you a good grip. And but I like it just like it is. It's got one lanyard hole in the back, and that's good for hanging. That's good for putting on your wrist. If you really want to have a good keep your hand in place, you can do a lanyard, what's called a forward lanyard hole. We used to do that when I was in cutting contests. Then they said we couldn't do it. We had to use the rear one then on. But anyway, it keeps your hand in position if you want that. If you're really doing a lot of heavy chopping and stuff. But so basically, that's the axe in a nutshell.